everyone, it's Lex and Riot, and in today's video we are going to tour probably the best cargo trailer conversion I have yet seen. I ran into Dan, who owns and lives and works out of the cargo trailer, at the local laundromat, and he so happened to be a subscriber. So thank you so much. I really enjoy running into you folks, and I hope you all are going to enjoy Dan's rig as much as I did.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I live in a 6x12 cargo trailer. I had a real travel trailer, and I live in Texas, and I was working in Odessa, Texas, and I was staying in it, but I just didn't like it. A lot of things didn't fit, didn't work right, and so I talked to my wife, and we decided to buy this. She allowed or whatever me to buy this, and just started converting. And when I got it converted, then I sold the travel trailer.
So what's it like camp hosting out of the cargo trailer?
It's really the perfect rig.
What do you tow it with?
I've got a 2012 Nissan Xterra.
And does it tow okay?
Yeah, I get about 14 miles a gallon when I'm towing. The Xterra is rated for, I think, 5,500 pounds, and I've weighed it, and it weighs 3,000. So it's, and that's kind of, I feel like it's a safe thing to do. If it says it'll tow 5,500 pounds, you don't want to tow 5,500 pounds. So that's worked well for the Xterra, worked well for the trailer.
And can we look inside?
Let's go.
Great. This is nice.
I'm not much of a carpenter.
Oh, more than me. More so than me. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit more about your build.
Well, I started off trying to figure out. At one point, I thought I may want to put a motorcycle or maybe electric bike or something in here, so I wanted an aisle that would go down the whole middle. So I decided I would make a narrow kitchen, which I think Lex has a narrow kitchen too, so I think that's probably where I saw that, because most of them, they're doing this 24-inch thing, and it just doesn't make sense. So I started off here, but I wanted a shower, so I shortened this up to 2 feet from the back door, and then up here, I hung a instant water heater. In the floor is a black tub that I got at Lowe's for like 15 bucks, and it's actually made for mixing mortar. And I drilled a hole in the end of it here, put a sink drain in it, and it just drains down through the bottom of the trailer. And then I've got a catch pan under there to catch the gray water. I set the cassette toilet in there so that it's kind of out of the way, and this curtain hides all of that, so it's not like you got your toilet sitting in the middle of the room. And I built a 12-foot bed so my wife can go with me. And a lot of this stuff I got comes from the fact that I was a truck driver and spent a good amount of time in a sleeper. And in a sleeper, you can't have a bed and a place to sit, and so everything's kind of got to be multi-purpose. So right now, this isn't for my wife because she's back home, but this is for my dog, Dakota, and she sleeps up here, and still plenty of room at the end. I was trying to maximize storage and not leave any gaps. And then I built this bed to the height to where these green totes would fit. And all of the entire underneath of the bed is green totes for the most part. I've got a diesel heater right there in the middle.
Yeah, I see that. Did you go with the Chinese one? Or
yeah, I went Chinese. Throw it away and get a new one if it breaks. That's the way I look at it.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Solar controller here. This is a MPP solar. I got it from, I think, eBay. It's a 100-watt inverter. It's got a transfer switch so I can plug it into shore power if I have it. It's got a 500-watt solar MPPT controller, and then I have 750 watts of panels on the top. Crack the window, close it like that, still get real good privacy, but then I still get some air coming through the trailer. Like last winter in Texas, we had that crazy cold where it was colder than it had ever been down there. And so I take those covers and put them in there, pull this shut like this. With that diesel heater, I was actually having to open one of the windows. It was that well insulated. Of course, I've got 1.5 inches in the floor, got 1.5 inches in the ceiling, and all the way around. The floor insulation, though, So I looked at it and I said, okay, I'm going to put insulation in, but if I do that, then I'm going to have to put another layer of plywood in. And that's going to lower ceiling height. It's going to increase weight. There's all things that's like this, and it doesn't work. So I just bought 1-inch foam insulation and screwed it from the underside. So the hole underneath of the trailer has foam insulation with big washers about that big and a wood screw that holds it up in place. And then this right here is 1/2-inch foam, and I don't know if it's insulated. It has to have some sort of insulating value, but it's just the foam stuff that they sell at Harbor Freight for make things soft. So I covered that. So I've got that 1/2-inch of this, the plywood, and then 1 inch of foam that's screwed up from the bottom for insulation on the bottom. The top, I just put some 1x material on there to where it would even out this roof has a little bit of a pitch to it, so it'll shed water. And I put some material across here to get it flat, and then just put 1.5 inch of foam up there. And then this stuff is all real thin plywood. It's the thinnest plywood you can buy at like Lowe's, Home Depot, those kind of places. It's actually, I think, designed to be underlayment underneath. And then I've got 110 power down there. I've got 12 volt and a lot of USB spread around. 12 volt refrigerator over there.
What kind of fridge is this?
I don't know. Some cheap thing off of Amazon.
Tell me about this incredible kitchen you've made.
Well, all this stuff just come off of Amazon somewhere. I think that Amazon should like sponsor me because everything in it came from Amazon nearly. These just little spice holders. This is just a box that I built and screwed against the wall, and I saw these things on Amazon, and they're actually they're a thing that they sell to hold furniture against the wall in earthquake prone areas. So they're a real strong little stainless steel cable with connectors on each end. So I just use those as brackets to where it could kind of make a floating deal. I have the stove, just like somebody else I know.
Yeah, that looks like a bicycle.
Okay, I saw this.
Going on here?
Some guy in Kansas did this. He was standing at a pickup in Kansas, and he had this stove, but all of his stuff kept falling over because these things are so far apart. So he had an old bicycle disc, brake disc, and he had thrown it on there. So I went on Amazon, found the cheapest one I could find because I knew it'd just get toast, and I throw it on there. Now my little pots and stuff don't try to fall over.
Is that like one of those like utensil holders?
From Walmart, like $3, and they like those. It was like it was made for it. And so I have one there, and then I have one back here for my water heater.
So you just use the little 1-pounders for even your water heater.
Well, see, I was going to put propane in here. As a matter of fact, I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. I was like concerned with it leaking or whatever. So whenever I roll, I unhook those and I screw a cap on them because they've got a cap that'll make sure that they're sealed off. And then when I get somewhere, I just screw the lid back on. Screw on whatever I need. And then I actually, since I have a tank up front, I actually just refill them. And so I bought a full tank of propane the other day for $11, and I filled up 9 bottles. And so 4 bottles at Walmart, at least in Texas, was like $14, like $3.50, $4 a piece, somewhere in there. And so that tank cost me 11, and I filled, I think it was 9 bottles. They're outside sitting on the ground. Of all the things that I think I did cool was this. These little sliders that cover the windows. And then, oh, this is my other favorite thing. These rods that go across.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So, like, when I'm taking a shower, I can move this anywhere I need to move it out of the way. And just since I got here, I put another one up front so that I can hang hats or coats or whatever. And then I can move them around so they're like not in front of what I'm trying to get at, but yet everything's still hanging. So. And
they're like shower rods?
These things came, I got 6 of them for like $9 on Amazon. These little, they're closet brackets, I think is what they call them. And then this is just electrical conduit. And it's like $7 or $8 a stick. So.
It's probably stronger.
Yeah, and then these are just some hooks. I just went on Amazon and was trying to find something that had an end that was real close to this. This is 3/4 conduit, and so the outside is almost 1 inch. So I wanted some hooks that were about 1 inch. And then actually all of them I've had to take and squeeze just a little bit because I don't want them bouncing off when I go down the road. They'll come off, but they fit snug.
How'd you do your plumbing in here?
Okay, so I have 4 tanks down here. These are just those, I don't know, they cost $12, $15 at Walmart. And then there's a tube that runs behind here, just drilled holes, and it's real small tubing that runs by here. And then wherever there's a tank, there's a T. And then off of the T, there's a valve. And so then like right now I'm pulling out of these 2, but these over here, the water's staying in them. So now this will pull down and then when I hit bottom, I'll know because I run out of water on my pump, then I can switch over to these, but I'll know to fill these up. So the system tells me when it needs filled.
How'd you figure that one out?
I'm just a genius. No, I don't know how I come up with it. But there's also another cool thing like this one's almost empty, so it's easy to deal with. So this is the tubing.
Okay, is that just like food grade tubing?
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna hold this up. Then this, of course, these come with just that little thing screwed on them. That's a valve that you can.
Yeah.
So I made these deals. So this is
PVC.
Mm-hmm. So this is just. I'll take it off and show you. I don't even think yeah, I did glue them on. So just a male adapter. It's screwed in backwards because I mean the thing is designed to go here, but it fit right back here too. And then these holes are so that when you're pulling water out, it can vent. Because if it won't vent, then it'll vacuum lock. And I put just big enough holes that I figured it would vent okay, but when I'm going down the road, it doesn't splash out. And then you just stick this in here. Slide it back in this hole.
That's too cool. Tell me about this. This is too cute.
So this is Camo. He is 10 now, I guess. He was real close to 10. I think his birthday's next month. This is Cleo, and that's Chloe. And there are dogs back home. They're 6 and he's 10. Dakota's with me and she's 6 too. It's funny, we ended up with these 2 after I'd had Dakota a year, but they're really close in age. They were rescues from the SPCA in Lubbock, and their owner had passed away and they needed a home, and we gave them one. So we have a lot of dogs, a lot of cats. We spend more on vet bills every year than we do on our own health care, which is a good thing, because I think probably we would spend more on our health care if we didn't have the dogs.
Right.
I think that they do good for us. So.
I agree.
But one other thing I did since I've been on this trip is I figured out.
Oh, your shoes!
I just stick my shoes. I was going to build this shoe box, to put everything in. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll just stick my shoes there. So I got 2 sets of Crocs. My boots go here. My tennis shoes go there.
Dan, what's your favorite part of living in a cargo trailer?
It's cozy. Everything that I need is right here. Like when I go home and I'm in the house, I like lose stuff all the time. It's just like it's so big. Well, in here, it's kind of hard to lose anything. I did lose a USB drive the other day, and I found it in the shower. So, so I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I just like it. And I think part of that is because, like I said, I was a truck driver. I was used to a small space. When I was a kid growing up, we lived in real small houses, and I just kind of like small spaces. But when you build your own, everything is exactly where you want it. And that's why I say it makes sense. That trailer we sold for, I think, almost $7,000, and I've got $7,000 in this. And there's not anything in here that I can't just get on Amazon, reorder, and fix. That water heater was $100. An RV water heater is like $500. And then you got to pay somebody to put it in because it's like a contortionist to get one of them things out of there. So, man, I think it's the best thing. RV living in a cargo trailer is the way to go.
What does your wife think?
She thinks I'm crazy. Sometimes she does, but no, she's always been real supportive of whatever I want to do. She's a great lady. Her name's Jill, by the way. I was sick last year with COVID. I had kidney stones. I'd never been sick in my life, and in 1 year I had kidney stones, COVID, and then I had a ended up with skin cancer at the end of the year. And I was just shaking my head, and my wife and I was talking about it. She goes, you know, why don't you just take off a year? And I've got this dream, and this is still going to happen. But I want to travel all 50 states, all the Canadian provinces, and Alaska in 365 days. So she was like, why don't you go do that? And I said, I don't know, because COVID was still going on. And, you know, try to get to Alaska and can't get through Canada and, you know, get to places you want to see and they're closed. And so I said, well, I can't do that. But then I remembered camp hosting. So I applied with CLM, which, I don't know, CLM has recently gotten bought out. They're owned by Recreation Resource Management now. And applied to them, and they offered me a job, and so I came here. And then when I got here, look who walks into the laundromat. I met Lex. But then also just recently, someone that's really dear to me is ill, and but she has a place over around Portland, and that she's going to be coming to, and so I'm going to be able to go see her. And so I'm in this spot right here at the right time in the right place. So it's a good thing, and I can thank Lex for that, because I could be camp hosting anywhere. As a matter of fact, I applied and got accepted to a place in South Dakota, but for some reason I was drawn here, and so I decided to come here.
Laundromat.
Yeah, just so I can meet. Yeah, you wouldn't be in South Dakota. You wouldn't be hanging out with the 4 presidents or anything like I would have been. But anyway, it was good to run into Lex, and then to kind of think about how it all kind of came together. And
That's so sweet.
yeah, it's good. So I remember something. It may have, I think it was you. It may have been somebody else. Somebody said, "Aren't you afraid somebody's going to lock you in your trailer?"
Yeah.
So I bought another one of these, and I locked the lock over here.
I do that too.
You-
Okay. No, I don't do that.
Cause see,
Really smart.
because you could. My wife was the one that said, I don't think I like that idea when this was just hanging here, because after I'd put this lock in here, she's like, well, somebody can just put this over here and lock us in the trailer.
Yeah, so what I do is I close this with a lock.
Mm-hmm. Just lock it shut where they can't do that?
Yeah, where they can't, but they could still theoretically.
Just all they got to do is throw it over there, and it'll get you bound up in there.
That is so small.
And these were really cheap. They were like, I don't know, $7 or $8 on Amazon. Okay, so these are Valence batteries, and what they are for is delivery trucks. And there's some guy on eBay that buys the delivery truck whenever it gets wrecked. These batteries have some sort of memory in them, to where when he buys them, he can tell how many charges and discharges they've had, and he prices them according to how many charges and discharges they've had. So I've got 270 amp hours, and I paid less than $1,000. I think I paid, well, maybe at $900 and some dollars with shipping and all for 2 batteries. And so I've got 270 amp hours.
Where'd you get those?
eBay. And then, so I bought this. This is just in case, and I've only had to use it twice, I guess now. It's a 1,000-watt inverter generator that I've got shore power over here. I can plug this into that, and then it will charge up my batteries if I get in a situation where there's no sun, which up here, when I got here in May, we had a pretty long run of major time of just cool, rainy, cloudy all the time. And my batteries, even though I've got plenty of solar, did eventually dip. And so I just fire this thing up, leave it run for 3 or 4 hours, and bring them back up. And then it would last another 3 or 4 days. And I think I'd do it twice before the sun finally came out. So the other thing I like about cargo doors is, here's my hot water heater in my shower. So I can just bring this out here. That way it's not getting humidity and dampness and everything inside the trailer. And I don't have to deal with the gray water, because it just goes on the ground. Now, but gray water, those stinking tanks are so expensive. The little like 6 or 7 gallon tank, I think the cheapest I could find it was $50 or $60. And I found a large oil drain pan that's got it closes up here. Here's got a valve on it. I mean, a place to dump it right here. It's made in the USA. And so I just take that off, leave that vent open. I put it underneath that drain that comes out of the bottom of this pan, and then that catches my water, and I didn't spend 50 or 60 bucks for something that's got an RV label on it.
Dan, introduce us. Who's your girlfriend?
This is Dakota. This is Dakota, my bestest friend in all of the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for touring my home.
Thank you, Dan. This was awesome. Thank you so much to Dan for letting us tour his home on wheels. I'm blown away. I don't know about you guys. Leave in the comments below what you really loved about his build, what maybe you would change, what I should change about my build to be more homey-like, like how Dan has his. I love the shower concept. I don't know how he fit all that into the same amount of space that I have. I also hope you guys like me sprinkling in some of these rig tours and interviews. I simply find other people more fascinating than I find myself, so it's really easy for me to want to engage with them, engage with you guys, and of course I'm always open to your feedback, so please let me know how I can improve in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you're inclined, hit that thumbs up button, and we will see you next time.